Guys, what's up, welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm going to show you all how Wheezy makes crazy samples and beats in the style of Young Thug and Gunna. And please don't mind my face, I get a sty. I know it looks like I get beaten up, but I still want to do a video with a face cam. So first I'm going to show you all the sample, then I'm going to break it down and show you all how I mixed it. And then after that I'm going to show you all how I made one of my favorite beats to the sample. So please make sure to leave a like and to comment on this video for the algorithm. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. And yeah guys, let's go. So the face cam is smaller now, and the first thing I did was open in contact with the Ilya FEMF nylon guitar, and I laid down this pretty simple and repetitive guitar pattern. Basically I started off with just laying this down. Then after that I laid down this pretty simple top line, it's these triplets and then it goes down, and then this top line, y'all will hear how it sounds. I randomized the velocities just to make it sound more realistic, and the finished guitar pattern is sounding like this. And for the effects on this guitar, I used this fruity parametric EQ where I took out a lot of the frequencies I didn't like and I boosted the highs. Then I had this A1 stereo control just to make it wider. Then this Apex Vintage Exciter just to make it sound more realistic. Then this Valhalla Vintage Verb where I tweaked the mix, the decay and the low cut. And I had this EQ just to cut out some of the lows, the frequency I didn't like, and to boost the mids and the highs. Then for the next thing I had this Bayer bell from one of Nico Baron's kits, and it's just said to give it some texture, and I laid down this pattern, played a bit with the velocities and with the strum, and the whole bell pattern is sounding like this. Then for the effects on this bell, I had this fruity parametric EQ where I took out a lot of the frequencies I didn't like again. Then this RC20 which I just had for the wobble and the EQ. Then this Valhalla Vintage Verb where I tweaked the mix and the decay. This Soothe just to get rid of all the unwanted frequencies. And this EQ just to cut out a lot of the lows, and I panned it 50% to the left and put it 27% in stereo. Then for the next thing I had these vocals from Splice. It's this vocal phrase and it fitted pretty well. I just cut it how I liked it, and this is how the finished vocal phrase is sounding like. And for the effects on these vocals, I had this fruity parametric EQ just to cut out some of the frequencies I didn't like. Then I had this fruity delay 2, y'all can copy the settings. This fruity reverb 2 where I tweaked the bass, the decay, the wet and the stereo separation. Then the Soothe on its basic settings just to get rid of all the unwanted frequencies. And I had this EQ just to cut out a lot of the lows and some of the highs. Then for the next thing I had this perc loop which is named Evil Loop from Noah. And I just time stretched it, and the perc loop is sounding like this. And for the effects on this perc loop, I just had this EQ just to duck it fully into the background, and I put it 22% in stereo. Then for the next thing I had this string one shot which is called Strings Attached, it's from Noah. And I laid down these simple chords, I randomized the velocities, and the full string pattern is sounding like this. Then for the effects on these strings, I just set this EQ just to get rid of all the frequencies I didn't like. Then this portal with the water preset from this bank. Then this EQ just to get rid of all the lows and all the highs just to duck it into the background again. And I panned it 50% to the right. Then for the next thing I had this Benzery key from Admiral 6 from Contact. And I laid down this pretty simple pattern. I randomized the velocities, and this is how the finished flute pattern is sounding like. Then for the effects on this flute, I had this EQ where I took out all the harsh and unwanted frequencies. This RC20 just for the wobble. Then this Valhalla Vintage Verb where I tweaked the mix and the decay. This parametric EQ just to get rid of all the lows. This Soothe just to get rid of all the unwanted frequencies. And I put it 19% in stereo. Then for the last sound, I had this retro bass from the Ilya Efimov bass bundle, and I laid down this pretty simple bass line. I just randomized the velocities to make it sound more realistic, and this is how the finished bass line is sounding like. And for the effects on the bass, I just set the simple EQ just to get rid of all the muddy lows, and I put it 100% in mono. Then to make the sample more unique and to make it sound more interesting, I had this fruity slicer where I pitched it down by 3, put the attack on 20 milliseconds and the decay on 50 milliseconds, and I put the velocity on max just to make it louder. And I think y'all can see what type of pattern I laid down. And basically the fruity slicer pattern is pretty repetitive. I just copied the whole pattern over and then just put it up just that the other pattern is playing, and I did it the whole time, as y'all can see. Then I just rendered it out, put a sound shifter pitch stereo from waves on it, pitch it up by 5 semitones, put a fruity parametric EQ just to cut out the muddy lows, and this is how the finished sample is sounding like. So now I just open up the FOP for the beat, and the first thing I did was laying down this pretty simple hi-hat pattern. It matches pretty well with the snare, which y'all will hear in a whole drum loop, and this is the hi-hat pattern I laid down. Then for the next thing we had this empire clap with the spacey clap pattern, which sounds like this. Then we had this simple snare pattern with a few offbeat snares, as y'all can see right here, and you will hear the hi-hat and the snare pattern together, so it will make a lot of sense now. And this is how the snare pattern with the clap and the hi-hat is sounding like. Then for the next thing I had this nasty openhat from my Stash Kit Volume 2, which will drop pretty soon. And I laid down this openhat pattern, which sounds like this. And then for the last thing we had the Spins 808, where I just tweaked the out knob and the boost knob, and it's just a basic 808 pattern on the F sharp note. I had some roads right here and right here, and I pitched up some of these notes just to get more bounce, and the finished 808 pattern with the full beat is sounding like this. So yeah guys, if y'all enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel. Make sure to comment as well for the algorithm. And again, sorry for my eye, in the next video it will be gone. Make sure to check out my socials. Thank y'all for this crazy support. And yeah guys, see y'all.